Okie dokie, so we're getting ready to fit the rear Isolastics into the engine cradle. So we've got the full Isolastic assembly here, and what we've done is we're going to upgrade to the Mark III, Commando Mark III Isolastics, which have got the adjustable verniers. So if you're going to replace the Isolastics, it makes total sense. You're always going to upgrade to the Mark III because you don't have to worry with shims and so on. You can just adjust them. So this is the basic components, and here's the old one. So a couple of things to note about the old one. Here's the sort of shaft that goes through the Isolastics, and on the old one there's the shaft which is cut off at either end because it's rusted solid inside the actual Isolastic unit. So obviously you need to make sure that's greased, try and stop it happening again. The second thing is about the wear. Now can you see how oblong, or not oblong, what's the word, oval, on the right of the picture, how much closer the edge of the rubber is to the rubber on the left, and that is the classic sign of a worn Isolastic, because that's what happens. I think the weight of the engine and that it brings it down, it squishes it down. As you can see, the new one we've got completely circular rubbers. Another thing to notice, I don't know this is original, but this is the one that came out, and it's got a central rubber that the new ones don't have. But I think all the new ones don't have that. So they seem to have dispensed with that rubber for the new ones, and so we've only got the two outer ends. So that's something to consider. And in a minute, we're going to start trying to put this into the frame tube, or engine cradle tube. And so I've got some rubber grease, and that's to try and get this into the frame. And we've got some silicone grease is what you need for the shims. These are again the 850 Mark III shims, which are again superior, I think, to the previous shims. So the previous shims I think are white, and these 850 Mark IIIs are this copper colour. So again, I always use those shims. But I know we're going to have fun because we've got to have to try and get this in. However, I think it is easy to get the rear Isolastics in. The front Isolastics are a real pain to get in, but I think the rear ones are a bit easier. I'll let you know about that in a minute. And then we've got to put the rubbers on the outside, and again, they can be fun. Main thing to note, and I checked this with, I spoke to Simon and David Norton, is that the ends of the new Isolastics, they're different. There's no thread on the end there, whereas that one's threaded up to the end. And the reason is on the right hand side of the timing side of the engine, then you've got this some vernier, and it's got that grub screw in it. So you screw that on and then tighten up the grub screw, and the grub screw tightens against this unthreaded section. Then on this side, this is the adjustable side. Okay, and so that's why it's screwed and threaded up to the end. On the Commando, on the rear Isolastics, we have the adjustable on the left, that's the drive side, and we have the adjustable on the right of the front Isolastics. That's certainly for the Mark III. So adjustable on the drive side. So when you put it in, do make sure you put it in the right way round. Also, one thing to note, I'm slightly unsure about. We've got a slightly different thread on the bar that goes through, and I think that this longer thread goes on the on the left side, on the side where we adjust. Okay, we'll be knocking that shaft through. Okay, but I don't know if it matters, but it is definitely, that's threaded shorter than that end, so I'm not quite sure why, I have to say. And then this is just a little cover that will go on later to cover up the holes on the adjuster. That's a little Allen screw for this grub screw, and that's the adjustment, that's the bar to then we can turn this, put it in and adjust it. This is, and these are stainless steel. We've upgraded to stainless steel. Okay, which so just to let you know that you can do that. Right, so we're going to clear the decks. I'm going to get this up on the bench and see if we can get the Isolastic facing the right way around and in the frame. Well, good news and bad news, huh? So after quite a lot of struggle, I managed to get the Isolastics in. The technique was to sort of try and getting it started on the rubbers. Once the rubbers are in, then they'll slide through. So I just sort of levered it in with screwdrivers and so on, and I've got it all centralised. I'm really happy. And just going back to what I've just said, I've fitted the Isolastic in the wrong way around. That's the solid end, which should be at this end. That's the adjustable end, which should be at that end. You know, I wonder at myself sometimes. I do. I wonder. But there you go. Such is life's rich tapestry. So now I'll knock it back out, turn it around, and put it back in the right way. At least, you know, don't forget the old mantra, Persig's mantra that you know, if you do something wrong, you can turn things around, and when you do it the second time, you do it much faster because you know how to do it, and you learn a bit more about it. Honest. So I'll take it all out and do it again. Okay, now I've actually managed to put the Isolastics in the right way around with the blank end on the right, on the timing side, and the threaded end on the dry side, because it's a threaded end that is the side that we adjust, and it's on the left at the rear and it's on the right at the front. Okay, so having done that, let's have a look. Yeah, so then we've got the end plate. I'm just going to put, I've got some silicone grease, I'm just going to put some on, just a little bit, just for lubrication, just don't want it to be rusting and stuff. There we go. Then we've got the sort of composite washer, and we do want a fair bit of silicone grease on this. There we go. And that goes on there. And spin it a bit to make sure the grease is spread. And then we've got the blank end, which has got the grub screw in it. And screw that on. Until it's where I want it. Get it up a bit tight. Get the Allen key in the grub screw. Just turn the whole thing a bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's drawing it. Yeah, that's okay. And I'll do up the grub screw there. So that is now, there's that side kind of done. But what I've got to do is I've got to try and get this rubber gaiter on, which I know is going to be fun. But again, I'll get some red rubber grease on this, and it's getting this large one over there that's the problem. But I'm probably going to go off camera, or at least I might cut the. You might find a lot of cuts in the editing. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if I can. I'll put a bit of red rubber grease on this. See if that helps at all, and if it will. No, actually, it's just making a big difference. Actually, having that the red grease does make a big difference. Big difference. You wouldn't get this on without that. Right, I've got to work out a kind of. It's going to be various screwdrivers, I think. The last time I did it, I had to utilise various screwdrivers, and it took a long time. It took a long time, as I remember last time I did this. Yeah, maybe pushing up from inside. Oh, that's looking good. Come on. Go on, keep going. Oh, 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 there you go. Wonders will never cease. And then that end, I haven't got grease on it, but I don't know if I'll need it. Famous last words. Is that going to go in that groove? No. There we go. So I think that's all seated, and that's better. Yeah, that's better. There we go. So that's this side done nicely. Jolly good. Right, let's turn things around and see if we can do the other side. Okay, side 2. So we've got the cover washer, what you want to call it. Not sure if we're on camera there, bit of silicone grease, just to be on the safe side. There, just made sure that was seating properly. Yeah, that's good. Because we've got paint on the, oops, am I a bit low there? Yeah. Yeah, just check that was seating properly, because we've got paint on the engine cradle. Just making sure that is on, because obviously that will affect the adjustment. Then we've got the other I forget what you call them, the proper name for these sort of adjuster washers. I'll probably put one of those little printed things up on the screen when I remember what they're called properly. Right, so put that on, spin it, bit of silicone grease, Then yeah, we don't need sealing. I'll put a bit of grease on the threads. There we go. I'm just going to tighten that up. Good. Making sure that the shaft of the Isolastics is not sitting proud of the end of the adjuster. So I'm just going to adjust it roughly for now. So we've been doing it up tight, and then it's one. I think is it 1.5 holes. So I'll just check that. 1.5 holes slackened off. Yeah. So it's done up tight. Oops. And then we're going to slacken off 1.5 holes. So that's 1, and that's 1/2. Okay. So we were tight up there, and from tight we've gone down 1 hole and 1/2 hole, and that should be it. So that is now adjusted roughly, but obviously when the bike, when the engine's in the frame and that, then we'll do it. Oh, well, I won't be doing it, but it will be checked again. I'll put a little bit of oh no, I'll do this later on. So this is just a cover. I don't quite know why they have this cover on, but there's cover to cover those little holes. But that's stainless steel and this isn't, so I'm not sure that actually we really need to cover, but I'll put it on anyway. I'll put a bit of grease on it. Right. Then we're back to the dear old sealing rubber. Woo. Right. Oh, managed to get that boot on, that rubber boot. And typically, just as the first one went on, pretty easy. So the second one didn't want to go on at all. You know, I thought, you know, in theory, it should be the other way around once you've got the technique, you know, but no, couldn't get it on at all. Anyway, on. Right, so I just need to just redo the Isolastics. I mean, obviously it will be redone when it's on the bike, but we'll set it now because I've been messing around with that rubber boot, obviously. So, right, so it's tight. And then I'm on 1, and I'm on 1.5. There. Okay. And so I'll leave it set. I'll leave it set. And then we've got the shaft, the main shaft, and of course we don't forget that the last shaft rusted solid inside the Isolastic. So we'll get some. I'll use silicone again. Why not? And we'll pop that in. Let's see, yeah, so we said alongside going from the adjuster side, I'm not sure it matters. Then we've got the spacers, which will then there'll be the Z plates, and then we've got the nuts. Now, I'm just going to put them on loosely because, to be honest, I might take this shaft back out because I've got an idea that as I'm going to be rebuilding the rest of the engine, the rest of the engine will go on the front here, obviously. These shafts will probably just get in my way and annoy me greatly. So, in fact, I'm going to take it out now. I don't know why I greased it really. There we go. And I will set this aside with the various spacers and washers because I know it will only get in my way, because we're going to rebuild like the engine around the cradle, if you know what I mean. So I'll set this aside, and we have the rear Isolastic fitted. So there we go. Boom. Jolly good.